Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Saki here, and today we're going to be doing a disclosure tutorial. And if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you've been here for a while, just hit the bell notification. And so let's get to it. And so to start off the track, we're here on the channel rack, and these are some chords that I just laid down in Serum. And on these chords, if you notice, on the second half of them, they just sound a bit flat. And well, there's actually a trick that I use here to spice them up, but I'll show you that when I get to the playlist. And so that's just for the chords, and for the bass, this is what I have going on. And so this bass, I created this bass. Actually, I didn't create this bass. I got this bass from the Synth patch. It's in the second default library, and this is the actual name of it. So moving on to next insert. And here in Massive, we have this synth. And next up, we just have this Arpeggiator. What I've noticed in a lot of Disclosure tracks is there's a lot of arpeggiated chords, and what you can do, like it's not necessarily like these sort of arpeggiations, but I just used this to fill out the track. And you can find a much cool arpeggiated chords, but on the first chord, what I actually have going on there on the mixer, it's just an EQ. I just cut out the low end, and here is just some sidechain, and this sidechain is here in the playlist. This kick here is the ghost kick, and this is a method that I call ghost sidechaining. And basically what happens here, it's a kick that's in the track. The kick is a kick that you can't necessarily hear, but you can hear the effects of it. It affects your sidechain without you necessarily hearing the kick. It will still give you that pumping effect without you actually using a kick. And so this kick, as you see, is very different from the kick that's gonna be playing on the track. And so with the ghost sidechain kick, this is how it sounds. And if you look here on channel 13, you can see the meter going up. And basically how you do this ghost sidechain kick is you just add a kick. You can use any kick on this. It doesn't have to be like any specific kick. And so whichever insert you're in, you're just gonna go on that kick, and then sidechain to this track only. Don't click on sidechain to this track. Click on sidechain to this track only, and when you do this, it'll automatically unroute from the master channel and it'll go into the insert that you're trying to sidechain. And so this is where I have my limiter, and so in my limiter I have insert 13. Insert 13 is that kick that is the ghost sidechain. And so if you've never sidechained before, what you do is after you've done what I've told you, routing your ghost sidechain to whichever compressor you're using, you come up here. Let's say you're using the fruity limiter. It's gonna be like this, and so you're just gonna click here, and this is the compression side of it. And here you can just increase your ratio a bit and just decrease your threshold. And basically what this does, this is what gives you the pumping effect. And the threshold just controls like the depth of your kick in terms of how hard you want it to hit, and your threshold does that as well. But the threshold actually gives you like more room in terms of experimenting with your kick. And here on the release is almost twice as long as the kick, and that's what like really makes this synth a bit more interesting than it actually is. And so moving on to the next part, I just have some kicks here. Sorry about that. And so like here we are. And when it comes to your kicks, what you can do here is if you look at my velocity control here, here I dipped the velocity a bit because like whenever you play higher notes, most sounds tend to get much higher, and so here it's a very cool technique. And if you noticed on the channel rack, I have my swing at around 53. It doesn't have to be at 53, it could be 55 or whatever feel you're going for on that specific track. And here is next song. And so moving on to the next sound. These are just percussions. And let me play them from the start. This specific sound was inspired by Magnets by Disclosure, and so here it's just a ride bell. And also this just fills the track a bit more. And here I really like doing this thing when it comes to house. Then basically what I've done here, it's most of the times when it's a house track and it's a 4 on the floor track, you'll find your claps are gonna be on this part and this part here as well, so it's gonna sound like. And I'm not necessarily a fan of most tracks that are like that. most of the times, if you just listen to any Disclosure tracks, you'll find that they use claps on the like fourth beat, and so it's a really cool technique. And but then you don't always have to do your track like this. You can have some variation, as I do in this track, because when it comes to the chorus, I just have claps all over this, all over these random beats. And so as you see here on the next set of claps, this is on the chorus. The first set of claps, I just chose to use it because like I don't want my verses and bridges or whatever just sounding too busy. And on the hats, this is what I have going on. And if you've ever wondered how to do those hi-hats like in almost any house song, and it's just basically simple. This is just a standard hat, and what I did here is try playing some notes that are different. Like just don't go wild with it like it's a trap song or something like that. But as you see here, it's just nudged up by a few semitones, and that's just basically it. And moving on to the next sound, here it's just a hat. And here is an open hi-hat. Okay, I think it's about time I just play the whole track.
Like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I sure don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She said I am the one who would dance on the floor and around. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she crossed the scene. Then heavy hair turned with the eyes that dreamed to be the one who would dance on the floor and around. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what you do. Could the lie become the truth? Hey. I was on the side, but who can stand when he's in demand? Her schemes and plans.
And so I think you've heard the most important parts of that, and so let me just show you a few other things that I did here. And this is just the Billie Jean a cappella, and it was sounding a bit dull to me, so here I just it was sounding a bit dull and it lacked a bit of power, and I don't know if it was the mastered one or what, but I just added a compressor here and I EQ'd it a bit. And here is I created an automation. This actually helps me with just arranging my song. And so what I did here is I just created an automation clip, and I created a bandpass. And so basically what you do is you just click here and create automation clip, and the automation clip will start from wherever you set it. And so when you move your automation clip up, that's when it actually opens up your filter. And so on this song, how it actually affects it is like this.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I sure don't mind, but what do you mean?
Play it with the chords.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I sure don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one to go down.
And that's just another arrangement technique that I like to use. And on this part, oh, let me just actually get to the bass. And here is the bass. And so here on the bass, I also have an automation on the cutoff filter. And so here basically the main idea of doing this, of decreasing of closing the filter, is actually whenever you try opening your filter for a drop, it sometimes works if, depending how big your drop is. If your drop is bigger than your bridge, and then it definitely works like 9 out of 10 times. But in this instance, like my drop, there's like not much going on there. And so to actually make the drop sound a bit more powerful is try closing off some sounds and like just decrease a lot of sounds, and that'll really help make your drop more powerful. As you see here on this bass, what I did, I just closed the filter here and
breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love, and be careful what you do, cause the lie become the truth. Hey, the Billie Jean's not my love.
And you see here, when it comes to the chorus, the bass opens up again, and it's much more brighter and buzzier than before. And that's basically how it just gives the chorus more power.
She says I am the one.
And moving on to the next part, I forgot to put my ghost sidechain here, but it doesn't matter because you really need to hear it. And moving on to the next part here, on the transition that you heard, this is basically the master channel. I put reverb, like the mix was probably at around 30 or 40%. And so the reason why I decreased the mix is I need to hear some frequencies from the song cleanly. And so this just helps. It's not like a usual filter sweep, and it's not necessarily a filter sweep. Basically what I did here on the master channel, I had Valhalla vintage verb, and so I had my mix probably at around 30%. And so if I just press play here, this is, and so I just basically recorded the master channel, like just one kick from the master channel. I recorded that into Edison. And so how that actually helps me is it helps me create this like sort of filter sweep, because what I do now on the Edison, I just drag this clip into, and I click on reverse here, and I just click on the reverse here, and your declicking mode, you can put that on smooth, and zoom in, and then let me cut off some, and then that's just basically it. This is how you create your own filter sweep. Like I can do this in like almost any song or any genre that any genre where I'd use filter sweeps, and so it just gives it this cool effect. Let me. And so this is not in an insert like this one here, it's in insert 16, and in insert 16, as you see, I dramatically boosted the high end, and so that's the reason why this my initial take sounds much better than this one. Yeah, and so that's basically it for this tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification, and I'll see you guys on the next tutorial. Peace.